We can't be blind to the fact that people are struggling. They can't stay, unfortunately, on this path. They need a paycheck much sooner than they're getting them. I'm not cheering for anybody to go, but
This is Byron, Lazine, and Nicole White, and you are tuned into episode 281 of The Real Word.
Word is up.
What's also up is the 2023 member profile for the National Association of Realtors. And you may be surprised how much real estate agents actually make. It may be a lot lower.
Or don't make.
Than you think. So the National Association of Realtors released its 2023 member profile. 32% of realtors pointing to low inventory as the number one issue facing buyers. 76% saying they'll stay with the industry for at least 2 more years. Those are 2 of the highlights, but let's dig deeper into this, Nicole, and see what is surprising to you. I think a third of realtors pointing towards lack of inventory being the primary obstacle makes sense. Might have even guessed it would be higher.
I would have thought it would have been higher.
Everybody's got a list of buyers in their database that are waiting around. Well,
unless you're interviewing a lot of listing agents, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
listing agents are starving for business, and the lack of inventory is hurting the listing agent because am I going to list my house at 7% when, to trade into 7% when I'm at 3%? Right now, Morningstar just came out. 91% of outstanding mortgages are under 6%.
Wow.
91%.
That's huge.
It's a big number. So that's what's holding up the inventory.
Are under what percent?
Under 6.
Okay.
Yep.
Makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense.
Makes sense. I mean, even when I bought in 15 and I was at 4. Yeah. Makes sense.
Yep. So despite the challenges, the profile shows that 76% are confident they'll be staying in the industry for at least 2 more years. So 3 out of 4 agents say, I'm in it for the next 2 years. Not really the long haul, but the next 2 years. At the end of the year, NAR membership grew to 1.58 million. That's the end of 2022. We know that number's down here in 2023, but this is their member profile for 2023, NAR, National Association of Realtors profile. It goes to the end of 22. So a lot has changed since then already.
For sure.
I would argue. But it's up 1.56 million at the end of 21 to the end of 22. This year-end number, I would imagine, is going to be lower. I've heard numbers as low as in the 14s.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Oh,
you're rooting for people out, Nicole.
No,
hey,
I'm not.
Whoa.
But just I mean, we can't be blind to the fact that people are struggling. They can't stay, unfortunately, on this path. They need a paycheck much sooner than they're getting them. I'm not cheering for anybody to go, but I am in support of supporting agents out of the business if that's best for them and their families. 100%.
Despite what you might see on Bravo or HGTV, Nicole, to your point, realtors, I would say, are struggling even though income is up. The typical NAR member, earned a median gross income of $56,400 in 2022. Gross, up from $54,300 in 2021. Gross is the key word for real estate agents' income.
Yeah.
Because when you're an agent, you're a 1099. Right. Obviously, agents, you guys listen to this, you know this, right? Yeah. You're a 1099, which means this doesn't include expenses. Right. Okay, always everybody's salary, taxes come out of that. So W-2 employees, your typical median income earner in America, they're still going to have to pay their taxes. But they don't typically have business expenses being carved out of that salary. Every time you go to an open house, you're driving, supplying, whatever you're supplying there.
Lock boxes, anything silly.
There's a million things that real estate agents buy. It's why teams have exploded to allow their team members not to have those expenses, not to have that upfront cost in their business. Right. Oh, photos, videos. Just so much money agents spend on their business can be almost as much as a third of their income, sometimes even more, depending on the agent.
I'm sure some of these people are probably in the red year 1 or 2 if they're actively participating in all of that. You see that a lot. Yeah.
Agents with 16 years of experience or more, the income's higher. It was $80,700 in 2022, down from $85,000 in 2021. So a little decline there. for the vets. The median gross income for realtors with 2 years or less experience was $9,600, which is up from $8,800 in 2021.
Bravo.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in your second year, and it's like I made $8,800 my first year, and now I'm going to make $9,600. It's time to get around somebody who can show you how to do deals.
Right. Or if you are making more your second year, bravo. You have done what clearly is not the norm. And it sounds like those people did probably surround themselves with the right people if they are finding themselves even in a 6-figure income year too.
This number caught me by surprise that 55% of realtors worked with an independent real estate company. And then you made the point that it might be split related.
I'm sure it's split related, 100%.
And so that's the mistake that realtors with 2 years of experience or less make. They go split related.
Yeah.
Oh, they're going to give me 90 minus the 6 or I'm capping out at X.
Capping.
I'm capping, yo.
Yeah.
And you're capping what? You're never hitting your cap at $9,600 annual. And so they go for high split instead of high opportunity.
Right.
High lead flow.
Right.
High training.
Right.
High support.
Right.
High culture. And and I'm not saying independents don't have, I'm just saying that you have a lot of these 100% companies, these types of companies are classified often as independents.
Of course.
There's a lot of great independents.
We are
independent.
independent.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's look at, before we go into some more of the NAR numbers.
Yes.
I have I think it's a Forbes article.
That's
I
what
have
you
a
said.
Forbes advisor. And so I have median salary by education level.
Yep.
Okay. So the national annual wage for agents was what, 56,000 we said right now?
Yeah.
For realtors. If you're in
gross.
If you're in NAR.
Yeah.
If you have less than a 9th grade education level, the median wage in America is about $25,000.
So that's like that's like 8th grade. Like my son's going out to work.
Yeah, he can make $25K.
I mean, I kind of need him to.
All right,
Yeah,
let's
that'd
put
be
him to
helpful.
work. Some high school, no completion, $25,000 as well. All right, so high school completion.
Yes.
A lot of agents, I would argue, just have a high school degree.
Of course.
Okay, that would be $33,996.
Okay.
So to have a license, super valuable to have a license in anything right now, I would argue. Maybe more valuable
but
than
remember,
degrees.
Your first 2 years is $9,000.
So Nicole, if most agents make $9,000 a year, what should they do to increase that income?
I don't know. Tell me.
I would say they should sell more homes. And to sell more homes, become a better agent, better marketer. The best place to do that is in BAMX, where we have all of our courses, Nicole,
Yep.
live streams.
Love it.
The private Facebook group, the daily downloads for the hot sheet that you can use in your email and on your social. It's where all the top agents are. And it's not a ripoff, Nicole.
It's not a ripoff.
Legacy,
I joined.
Nicole joined.
I joined.
Legacy real estate media companies are charging way more than what we charge in BAMX because we actually care about your business. We're not here to rip you off. We're not here to duplicate stage content and then charge you for it. We're here to give you original content and actually show you how to be a better agent. So use the code
Real
REALWORD.
Word.
That's right, Real Word, down below to get your BAMX subscription today. Yeah, but I mean, it certainly wasn't for me. So
No, I'm just saying.
Let us know in the comments if you're on YouTube right now.
I don't even think I made $9,000 my first year.
Did you make more or less than $9,000 in your average of first 2 years?
I'm gonna pull up because I was with Ravis at the very. I'm gonna pull up and see because I bet you it's in my portal. I could actually probably see what I made.
Let's find out what you made in year 2. I'm hoping it's more than 9,000.
I don't think that.
Well, you were also an
was.
assistant, so you made more on your assistant money.
No, so my first year I was pregnant.
Yeah.
And then year 2 I had a newborn. He was my third. But yeah, I mean I was probably.
Well, that's the thing. A lot, and that's what pulls. You're the case of pulling the average down because you were a member of NAR.
Pulling the average
Nothing
down.
against the situation,
Yeah.
but I'm saying, hey, I'm gonna go get my license now. Then life happens. I'm still holding the license. I'm still a member of
huge
NAR.
oops. Yeah.
And then obviously the salary's not there because just had a kid and you're out on maternity leave.
Well, I mean, I was working, like you said, I was someone's admin.
Yeah.
I tried to stay in the business
Yeah.
for sure. I'll have to look. I think so I got in 10. I bet you by 12, I maybe brought in like probably $35,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably maybe made it.
And 35,000 is just about what a high school completion makes in America.
I
So
did go to college.
Some college, no degree. That would be me. I have some college classes, some business classes.
Yeah, what, 1,
no degree.
2? How many did you take?
Oh, I took law 1 and 2. I took accounting. I took
So you
basic
went,
economics.
Like sophomore year. You made it 2 years in college.
You know, when I was working at
EB,
they would send you for free. I would just take all these business classes. Anyways, all right.
Okay.
Never gotten a degree. So some college, no degree. About $39,000 is the national median annual wage. Associate's degree is $42,000. I'm just rounding up. It's $41,986, but you get it. Bachelor's degree, $60,000. Is that you, bachelor? Bachelor.
I have a bachelor's.
So $60,000. Okay, master's degree is $71,000. A professional degree is $102,000 plus, and then a doctor's degree is $100,000 on the median. So think about that. A bachelor's degree, $60,000, where the agents were $56,000.
Yeah,
the average agent.
So you
and then the agent with 16 plus years was up over $80,000.
Yeah, so you skip college, no debt.
That's right. Wow. So listen. You can look at this one of two ways on the income for agents. Wow, I thought they made more, but it's because you're watching a lot of glitz and glamour. Remember, expenses come off of that top line.
Well, and they're all. I feel like if you're watching like Selling LA, like they're giving you like they're not actually getting 5% on that. They're probably getting
they're getting 2,
if that.
They're
and
getting
then they're
2.
splitting it. And
those
then,
are 4% deals.
You think all the way? I think they're. You think they're that? You
Yeah,
think
they're typically 4% deals in that area.
All right.
They're typically 4%. So
yeah,
2
they're
and
getting
2.
2, but then splitting. Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine Oppenheimer isn't taking any of that.
Oh yeah, there's splits. Yeah. There's expenses. Those big properties are very expensive to market.
Very expensive, yes.
Okay, so it's not a cheap marketing expense.
I mean, you have to have a really expensive car. You have to have really expensive clothing. I mean,
yeah, you got to do the whole thing. So you look at it both ways. You can say, hey, no degree, you don't have to go and invest in that degree. You can make what you can make basically with a bachelor degree. You don't have that debt. You do have expenses in your business. But then you also have, the no ceiling potential, right? And so you can make a lot of money. All right, let's move on with some more of the studies here. Majority of realtors worked with an independent. That's 55%. Let us know, are you independent or not on your brokerage in the comments? Love to know from you. 64% hold a sales license, 20% hold a broker's license. That'd be you and I. 18% hold a broker's associate license. Or are we broker associate? No, I think we're brokers.
I'm just a broker. I don't even know what a broker associate means.
Broker associate is a lot. They do a lot in New York City.
But like, there's agents that are like, oh, they're naming me broker associate. I'm like,
well, that's a BS title. Is what that is.
I'm like, is that what you're getting on your business card? What do you? I could put that on my business card.
That's a business card. I put whatever I want on my business card.
So that's where I'm confused. Is this like the business card lingo or like a real business
card? That's
so
BS.
So it sounds like maybe what the broker associate is the associate, like the broker, like say you were the broker, you're kind of stepping out, and the broker associate is then stepping in.
It's all business card lingo.
Okay,
that means
that's
nothing.
kind of what I'm thinking.
70% specialize in residential brokerage. Okay, typical NAR member has 11 years of experience in the industry. Wouldn't have guessed that. It's up from 8 years in 2021. So you have a lot of turn and burn in those early years. Yeah,
Well, but think about it. I mean, there's an agent that I know. He's been in the business 50 years. So people aren't, I think what also happens there's
no retirement plan.
There's no right. I was gonna say there's no retirement plan. So the only plan is to keep working.
There's absolutely no retirement plan in this industry. It's holding people in a lot longer than they would want to be in. Sure.
Yeah, there's no retiring at, 50 unless you're preparing properly.
You also have some that have made enough money in this industry, are capable of retiring and refuse to do so. Yeah. Based off of either ego or, they're just kind of bored or whatever. That's not a bad thing. I'm just saying that's kind of the reality in every market.
Right.
Share of members with 2 years or less of experience dropped to 17% in 2022 from 25% in 21. So as the going got tough, it wiped a lot of those out. We've seen that here.
Oh, for sure.
The share of those with 16 experience or more rose 42% in 22 to 30 from 39% in 21. 89% work as independent contractors, nearly the same as 2021. So 11% of licensed NAR members are a W-2 employee. That doesn't mean Redfin. That could mean
listing coordinator,
yeah,
probably
yeah,
transaction coordinator.
Yeah, our listing coordinator is
yeah,
a licensed agent.
marketing. Yes.
Our ops manager has a license.
Yes.
43% worked at a real estate firm with one office.
Wow. How many?
43% worked at a real estate firm with one office.
Wow. That's a lot.
Just one office. So that's speaking to that independent. I guess.
Of that 55%.
Yeah, because 24% worked at a firm with 2 to 4 offices. Typical realtors had a median tenure of 6 years with their current firm, up from 5 years in 2021. So a median tenure of 6 years, typical agent, up from 5 years. So agents are staying at their brokerage longer. Join me in August 22nd to the 24th at the Tom Ferry Success Summit. I consider this the Super Bowl of all real estate events, and I go every year. We're going to be hosting a BAM Bash, amongst other things, and the content in the conference is second to none. In fact, you can get the lowest price by clicking the link below. Use PRBAMSS to get $100 off your ticket to Tom Ferry Summit. It's the lowest ticket on the internet. Don't wait. Supplies are limited. I also saw a report from 1000 Watt that last year, a third of agents switched or were about to make a switch. Okay,
and then what happened?
They were like in the process of making the switch or had made the switch. It was that, I'm just paraphrasing. It was loosely
a third.
that. Yeah, third.
Again, I feel like I just always go back to like splits, you know. I feel like that's
which is the worst reason to move.
I feel like that's the driving force for many. I mean, that's the number one question I feel like we get.
But it's also why this average is $56,000, because when you look at the top agents, they're making way more than $56,000.
Yeah, for sure.
It's because they're not worried about split. They're worried about how can I do the most deals? How can I produce the most?
Right. And who's going to give me the most support in order to do the most deals? Yeah.
There's so many agents out there that do nothing. Right? We talked about that marginal agent study, which was complete BS last week.
Yes.
Go look at that.
That
Real
was
word last week was
bullshit.
crazy.
Yeah. It did introduce us to a new word, though.
Yeah, what was
that word?
But it was like buffet, but it wasn't buffet. A parfait of agents. Parfait.
Parfait.
No, it wasn't parfait.
No.
A surfet.
Surf there. Look at you.
Surfet of agents.
It's like a spelling word.
All right. They said that the marginal agent is growing. I would totally disagree with that. They took a snapshot in time that. All right. 26% worked for a firm that was purchased or merged in the past 2 years. And errors and omissions was the most common member benefit provided by firms in 22, just as it was in 2021.
Interesting.
Would you go work somewhere for E&O insurance?
Which is like $500.
That's such a silly reason to go work for someone.
Oh, boy.
Big takeaway here.
What's my...
Surprised by anything? You surprised that the typical NAR member makes as much as... on top line revenue before expenses, before taxes, makes essentially just as much as the median bachelor degree in the country. You surprised by that?
I feel like hearing all the...
It's 3,500 less.
Yeah, I feel like hearing all the numbers and then like us sort of sitting here and sifting through like first year, second year, 9 year, 12 year, 13, like... No, I guess it doesn't. I think where I'm maybe more sad is that the individuals that did invest in schooling, that's all they're ever going to be able to make. Because like to your point too, sort of that ceiling of your potential within the real estate industry obviously is huge. I think that's most people's driving force for getting into real estate because they see that there's, you know,
there's top end potential.
There's huge potential.
I know somebody holding a law degree in Naples who just became an agent, and there's top end serious potential in that market. There's plenty of 5, 10, 15 plus $1 million sales, so the commissions can get pretty big, and he's going after it aggressively, that this particular agent that I'm thinking about. But you know, law school's typically 7, 8 years. So I'm assuming either somebody paid for that or he paid for that and he's not using that. He is using it for something, but not, you know, his career now is real estate.
Has he practiced law at all?
He did.
Okay,
yeah,
so maybe he paid off some of that
debt.
Yeah,
maybe. Yeah, he's a young guy. So anyways.
He got the knowledge.
But a lot of times when you get into this, you made a great point. When you get in, you're just narrowly focused on that top echelon. to be a top performer in real estate sales, you got to be willing to work incredible hours. You got to be willing to give up the weekends.
Right.
And so all the people that are averaging 8,800 and 9,600 that saw that top line number and then got in and realized how hard it was, this is where people need to sit down. The typical member makes $56,400. Not the typical real estate agent makes $350,000.
Right.
And if you want to get into that category, you're going to give up the majority of your nights and weekends.
For sure.
You're going to have to be somebody that gets up early and gets after it and takes care of their mind and their body so that they can take all the conversations that they're going to have.
And they have the confidence to actually go out for the ask.
Absolutely.
I mean, you can't be shy. You can't be timid. You can't there is a certain person too that can be successful.
So it's a racket, Nicole.
What's a racket?
To believe that you can just come into this industry and make $300,000, $500,000.
Oh, absolutely.
The potential is there.
Yeah.
But you have to sacrifice a lot.
I think
because the average agent makes $56,400. That was 2022's number.
I think if anything, this helps people maybe put sort of the business into perspective. You know, if you are doing better than the average, at least you can go home confidently saying, okay, like I am exceeding. And again, what do we always say? Get better today than you were yesterday. You know, so, or again, if you're seeing that you're making more than the average person over 16 years of experience, like bravo, like keep doing that.
That's right.
But again, I also wouldn't get too hard on yourself if the first year you're making $16,000 if the average person is making $8,000. So I don't know. It's just it's very. I think it's very eye opening.
You can make what you want, so you don't have to sit in the average.
Sure.
And it's going to be up to you, and that's always
100%.
The big lesson, big takeaway. Ultimately, beautiful thing about it is if you don't make what you want to make, it's nobody's fault except for yours. It's not Jerome Powell's. It's not your broker's. It's your fault. It's your business. Nicole.
Yes.
Overask ended their pod.
I just
this
found
week.
out about
The Overask pod. Yesterday was their last one. We are now 281 straight weeks. I
sorta
listened to their pod. They were
What number were they?
like 120. They were all
but
proud of
they did
themselves
it.
for 120.
I feel proud for them too.
Congratulations to those guys. I love those guys. They're band brothers, obviously.
So great.
They're going to do a new
miss you
iteration
guys.
of Overask in the future, some live content when they bring it back. But 120 weeks. I mean, we're at 281. I think we've got the record here for.
Do we?
I think
What
so.
was the record with your other podcast? What number
That was like
were you
177.
at? Oh, okay. So we've surpassed that.
Yeah, we surpassed that a
Feel good
long
about
time
it.
ago.
Okay.
Long time ago.
Here we are. Every week.
If you want to get your YouTube strategy up, maybe start a podcast of your own tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern. There is a webinar.
Tomorrow, Wednesday.
This won't be live on YouTube. Obviously, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel. But tomorrow being Wednesday, July 19th, 3 p.m., there is a webinar. Haley, put the link down below. It's going to be Eric Simon and Tom Story going over YouTube strategy. So if you want to start your journey of 281 straight weeks of content production, that would be a great place
I
to
saw
start.
on Instagram. Ken is doing an amazing job there.
Oh, Ken's crushing.
Killing it.
Ken Pozak is
Yeah.
another great YouTube. We had him at the BAM Mastermind. I think he's going to be speaking at our BAM event in September, which we haven't actually released tickets for that yet. But stay tuned for that. The best way to stay tuned for all this stuff is become a BAMX member.
Gotta.
You can use code REALWORD down below to get that. Appreciate all of you guys. We went with a one-topic show today. We're going to test this out a little bit. Let us know if you like that or not. And then we'll see you guys next week. Keep it real.
See you guys.